Greetings and welcome back to the Weekly News Roundup. I hope everybody's having a wonderful week and heading on into a more wonderful weekend. We are, of course, co-streaming YouTube, Odyssey, Rumble, Twitch, and The Lost Stepchild. That is DLive, which every now and again somebody shows up. Hey, we got somebody over in DLive right now. Greetings. How's it going? We've one over there on Twitch. That might be the Die Master. Greetings. And we have two over on Rumble. That should pick up before too long here. Greetings over there. And the big ones, of course, we have Odyssey and YouTube. Today, YouTube is beating. Yesterday, Odyssey completely crushed YouTube as far as view count. Today, we have 13 watching over on Odyssey, and okay, well, YouTube just dropped my numbers down to 4 and 5. It was 13 before I started, or 20 before I started. I don't know. So I guess maybe everybody moved on over to there, or I don't know, something happened. But oh well, we went from like 20 down to 4 or 8. That's because we're, of course, shadow banned by YouTube and all this other kind of stuff. Somebody had said, well, I don't think it has anything to do with the conservativeness, because I watch one thing and then I get all this. Yeah, but understand this. Those big channels you were talking about, the Shapiros, the Becks, you got to understand that those guys are too big to simply pull off easily. They got massive budgets and huge lawyers, but they use them as honeypots to figure out who watches them, and then the channels that somewhat get up to there, somewhat influential, those are the ones that you got to cut off. And so, that's my going theory. And if you have a better opinion, that's fine. Don't say I don't think that's the reason and not propose why you think I'm being targeted. But we'll see in the morning if we still have a channel or not, because it's every Saturday. I think it's like once a month on Saturday they try and community strike something, and one more, and they completely delete the channel. So that's good. And it looks as though this is their last Saturday of opportunity, because the one community strike will expire on Thursday the 10th. And so with that, if they don't do it tomorrow, they're running out of time to completely ban the channel. So make sure you're following on the other platforms as well. We will not be silenced. We will not go away. We are doing just fine over there on the other platforms, but anyway, let's go ahead and check in on our comments over here on the Tubies. Analyze your children's voice. This human will become the next... No, not that. No. This child will become the next hair sniffer. Wait, what? Either that or Elf finally catches a cat. No, Elf is banned from this place. My kitty says no Elf around here. And my kitty has... my kitty's the CEO. He is the Fat Cat CEO. Really, look at this Fat Cat CEO. He's fat, he's a cat, and he's just laying there sleeping, doing nothing. He's in charge of the show around here. And he says no Elf. Well, 100 gig hotspot refill cards for TracFone Verizon service is about to run out, and nobody stocks them anymore. Yeah, it is becoming harder to find some of those. There's other options out there. Right now I'm looking at Boost Mobile as an alternative backup that uses AT&T, however. Hello, Commodore fan. Greetings. I've not used a TracFone since the mid-2000s. Switched to Net 10. Been on Cricket Wireless for 6 years. Of course, we have an affiliate with Mint Mobile, who's run my phone for a number of years, and I very much like it. Go back to work on Sunday. Check in the clock at noon. Greetings. And don't forget, I think it is like daylight savings this weekend. So there you go. I've had bad luck this week with my allergies have sprung up, making it hard to focus. Oh, sorry to hear that. That's not good. So I've not had much time to focus on this story. Yeah, I was thinking, do I want to just jump on into the November writing challenge? I'm only like 4 days behind. I have written books in like 2 weeks before, so I don't know, maybe. Well, Wally World doesn't have anything but phone cards and Verizon sales offices say hotspot services never existed. They do exist. I actually allegedly bought one, although they were too hot to sell a product because they didn't actually support my device on prepaid. Basically, Verizon literally scammed me. But corporate made up for it by waiving the activation fee to get on a real plan. which was the same amount that Verizon scammed me for. So okay, it's good enough. But I will tell you forever, Verizon prepaid, if you go through Verizon, you're not just going and buying cards, whatever else. If you go through Verizon prepaid, they are scammy. They are scammers. They are going to do you wrong. I would completely avoid them. Let's see. Trying to figure out what patch was causing the problem. Set up a bug report system. Eek, California. Don't blame me for being a California man. I'm just a passing through. I mean, every time I think, man, this is a beautiful place, and then I turn around and see more maskiness around here than you can possibly imagine. I passed by a sign the other day. It's like screening is required in this building. It's like screw you, And then you get the common nonsense of. I don't know. It's just weird. Like, it's weird in this state. I don't know. There's a lot of, I don't know. And you guys that flee California, understand you're fleeing because of this nonsense. Don't take your ideas with you. Just go to the other places that are better and spend about 5 years. I love the idea somebody proposed. I can't remember who it was. He said, if you move to a new place, you shouldn't be allowed to vote for 5 years so that you don't bring your bad politics to the new place. I mean, you fled the place because it was that bad. Don't be like, you get here and like, oh, this is so much better, man. Taxes are so much lower, all this kind of stuff. And then you go, we don't have any programs for the homeless. We need to have a tax increase on our school. We don't have people complaining that you're not wearing a face diaper. We need to put this into effect. And then you join, and then you turn the perfectly good place into the hellhole you left. Please, if you have fled the insanity of your last place, don't continue to vote for the things you voted for in that place. Please. Leave it untainted for the world. PC issues this week with one CPU fan combo decided no longer liked life. Yikes. Let's see. Slang for to Sam Walton and the Walton family. Yeah, Wally World. Yeah. Sadly, I'm not at Wally World today. I could not get good signal at Wally World. I was only getting like sparing 3G signal at Wally World, so I moved literally quarter mile up the road to a different store, and I have internet. Weird. Google has a stranglehold of a browser market. Greetings, Moonbase Alpha Grays. I was flying up to Alpha Centauri the other day. I didn't see you there. Let's see. After the state power grid nearly collapsed on July 13th, the long summer of energy crisis threats is finally over. I made it through the summer, and things are finally getting back to normal. Very good. You just need to build yourself an off-grid platform of some form, I'm telling you. Is it weird to remove it so soon that the format only became stable somewhere between 6 months and a year ago? I don't know. So much has changed since I've been gone. My HP laptop and now my primary PC switched to Kubuntu. Old desktop PC is finally now up and running. Farron OS, very good. Laptop on MX Linux, all great choices. There you go. Miss the old Opera browser before it got sold to Chinese companies. I'm seeing 7. I'm seeing 8 right now. I'm seeing 8 on... Remember when the Weekly News Roundup on YouTube, we were pushing 50 to 100 viewers every single show? I mean, that's how Shadowban... I mean, unless I just got boring or some other people have just moved on. I don't know. Maybe that's the case. People found the other newer Linux guys and went over there and said, I don't know, whatever the case is. Or, hey, maybe everyone's just over there because we got 21 over there on Odyssey. And we'll get to your Odyssey comments here in a bit. All right, let's see. Both of them. Chat is always better on the tubies. I thought Boost was T-Mobile. So Boost ran both T-Mobile and AT&T. About 6 months ago, they switched to exclusive AT&T. I actually went and had a chat with some guys over at Boost, just to ask them about that. Need a stunt for Odyssey. There you go. Hello from Florida. How are you? I am well, Florida. I'll be heading your way somewhere in a few months. Is Odyssey okay to make an account on, or are they like Google going to sell everything? No, they're pretty good overall, as far as I understand. All right, let's see what we got over there on Odessa. Let's see. I use Haiku. It's almost ready to use. Kind of, sort of, though. Nice. Everyone, add your Haiku poems to the Odyssey chat in celebration of Haiku OS. It does not have nearly the security measures Linux does, though, like no FDE, no password by default, only one user, basically root. Moonbase Alpha Grays is over here as well. You teleported. Haiku does have a very Libre version of Doom, though. Oh, very cool. Very nice. Ben Shapiro. And now, ExpressVPN. Let's see. Tom will go quietly into the night. Yes, I need to be a little quieter today. Hello, Dan. Greetings. We are with you no matter what the Tubies decides to do. Wish more carriers would offer a 7-day trial for $2 like Mint does. Yeah, absolutely. Linux, my Linux Flatpaks, decided that ungoogled Chromium is my default browser instead of Brave, which I said is default in a script called browser that I wrote as the environment variable. Also, Flatpaks decided that my theme isn't good enough. Yep. Just use an update for the Optus hack. The federal, what? No, I'm not reading that. 10 over there. We actually have more people watching on Rumble now than we have on YouTube. Awesome. Very good. I like to see that. Keep watching over there. We have something special at the end of the show. But we'll get to that in a bit. On everyone on locals, I had a quick tip of the hat to it. I did not pass it out to the other ones. I wanted to. It was a weird day, so I just got to putting the social media links out. Maybe that's why people aren't on. They forgot I didn't know I was streaming because I only did the social media links like 10 minutes ago. Anyway, we are about 15 after the hour. I think everyone is here who's going to get here. Let's go ahead and get diving on into the news. I need that one. Welcome back to the Weekly News Roundup. This is the Privacy and the Security editions. These are recorded live Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on several different platforms. Have a look at the website, switchedtolinux.com/live, to see what the current links are. No, you can't watch the show live over there right now. That's just where I happen to have the links to show you where it is. Things are in flux. If the Tubies decides I need to get kicked off, then you can always find out where the show is over there. And with that, let's go ahead and get diving on in. Homework help site Chegg accused of leaking user data. This is, now Chegg has had a lot of different applications. They've done textbook rentals. They've done tutorial services, a lot of different things. Basically, they have had 4 major data breach type incidents, most of them relating to multi-factor authentication and S3 calendars. Which if you're new around here, that is an S3, an Amazon AWS S3 bucket. I call them colanders because even Amazon apparently has a hard time securing them. As they leaked a bunch of data, as we covered, I think it was last week. Basically, the FTC listed 4 separate events, 2 involving exposure of payroll information to scammers, 1 the leaking of sensitive material online, and another where the executive's email account was compromised. And basically, they're being sued on the basis of having excessively poor security for the size of company they are. And this is nothing new. These companies do this all the time. They simply have a great idea. It's probably 2 guys, full-time guys working in their basement or something, and then they subcontract out everything else to the cheapest bidder. And the guy over at the call center in Calcutta, who also runs the scam centers, puts together a proposal to do the things at half the budget of anybody else and stuff like that. And so, we end up with really poor security, or maybe it's intentionally poor. Who really knows? But that's what's going on over at Chegg. In one case, attacker stole W-2 information for 700 current and former employees, including birth dates and social security numbers. They were not deleting information after it was no longer needed. There are a lot of problems with this company. They are a company that we used to work side by side with them from the one startup that I worked with in the ed tech sector. So it's not one that I'm totally ignorant of. TikTok tells its European users that its staff in China will indeed get access to their data. So screw you, GDPR. And basically, this has been going around. You've heard that, TikTok has problems. We need to ban TikTok. And then Orange Man Bad wanted to ban TikTok. And now TikTok's the greatest thing in the world because Orange Man Bad wanted to ban it. And so then TikTok struck a deal with the United States government to say, oh, we no longer are concerned about this kind of stuff. Yeah, as if something shaky wasn't going on the back door there. I mean, we know of the close associations between certain persons that happen to live in some house that happens to be white in Washington, D.C. and the Chinese government. And so So, very interesting. But in response to this, TikTok tells European users specifically that its staff in China will get to see their data. How does this happen? Well, it doesn't have anything to do with data in Europe is there. It's that the data in Europe is spread across a couple different countries. And what's really fascinating about this, if you look into it, is European data is stored in different Five Eyes countries. This is so that all of the individual governments can spy on all of the individual people and all spy and snitch on all of the individual governments about the citizens that the governments are not allowed to spy on directly, but the Five Eyes nations can, and then just simply share. We'll be glad to tell you the things about Bob Jones over in London. If you can please tell us about that crazy Switch to Linux guy over there, and we don't even know what state he's in because every single time he logs into some account, it's in a different place. Please tell us what's going on. Sorry, we can't help you. The guy apparently has blocked our TikTok tracking pixels. I have a video on that if you want to block the TikTok tracking pixels too. And by the way, you might say, I'm not using TikTok. Would I look like crazy? It doesn't matter. TikTok tracks you whether you use their servers or not, because they have convinced everybody and their brother to add that TikTok pixel into their website. And you go to any given website, right click, view the source, search for TikTok. Guess what? It's probably there. Government sites, education sites, business sites, they're all doing it. The news sites, they're all doing it. They all are tracking data for TikTok because it helps them out in their data collection and their analytics. So I happen to have a video about how you can block TikTok from tracking you, and it's going to prevent them from seeing any information about you. Now, this article here is relating directly to the direct user information. So this is not, Joe Blow, whatever else. This is the people who actually have information because they're actually the fools that use this nonsense. And so that is certainly an issue that we have there. All ties to the Five Eyes, which if you're unfamiliar with the Five Eyes, this is a association of 5 different countries. If I remember them off the top of my head, United States, I think it's United States, Germany, UK, New Zealand, and Australia, maybe. That might be it. Don't quote me exactly. You can look it up. Basically, it's a alignment of 5 governments that they're not allowed to directly spy on their citizens, so they share data because, Germany's Gestapo can spy on me and the CIA can spy on them, and they can just kind of share data. That's kind of what that is talking about. All right. On to the next one. This one could have been under security, could have been under privacy. I wanted to cover it under privacy because it highlights a malicious use of a VPN, albeit this is a different way than, many of them can work. So basically what was going on is there is a new religion that is cropping up in Muslim nations. And of course, if you happen to live in a Muslim nation that is survives by Sharia law, you are not allowed to practice another religion, at least not freely. So you can, in theory, if you're paying separate taxes for being an infidel, you can do that. They mildly tolerate you, but you are a second-class citizen. So there is a new religion going around in these areas. And of course, since you are not really allowed to search for things, the forums and stuff talking about it, they are pushing this new VPN. And if you use this VPN, they say that, yeah, you can get around the censorship. They're promoting this in Telegram channels and things like that. And the faith is it the Baha'i faith, I think? I know nothing about it. But it is a separate faith. It's going to be divergent from the Muslims. So in those Islam-based countries, you're not allowed to have other faiths, at least not freely, as we said. And so the people pushing this faith are pushing this VPN, which is a side-loaded VPN. And when you install it, it's going to install along with it the Sandstrike system, which is going to be able to spy on everything. Now, you need to understand this, and this is why I put it in the privacy section. When you are talking about a VPN, you have to be completely trust your VPN, because the VPN might block your ISP from seeing your traffic. It certainly doesn't block Google or anybody else that you're logged into from seeing your traffic. Okay. It will not block any of that. All right. But what it will block is your ISP from seeing your traffic. The problem is every single thing you do on that device can be seen by the VPN company. We don't even know who this VPN company is. So some unknown person who is co-installing malware is now being able to access absolutely everything on these people's devices. So be cautious about VPNs. Not everybody needs a VPN all the time. There's times for it, there's times not. I know everyone says you need a VPN because everyone's trying to make money on selling VPNs and things like that. There are specific times to need it. There are specific times it makes zero sense whatsoever. And so you need to understand that. And we have a video about that too. We have a lot of videos on this channel. I need to start linking them better. All right. Moving on, Google Assistant just became more kid-friendly and a little safer too. Safer for whom? So this deals with Google Assistant, which is specifically supposed to be like, 18 plus, maybe you're 14 plus, but they find out that so many children use it. How do we know this? Because Google takes a lot of data about what is it with the modern trend? I see it a lot. Like modern trend, people just pick up the phone, hitting the microphone, and talking into it. And say, it's faster to type your texts than it is to say them and then look at it. And then you're giving all that information to whoever's listening behind the curtain, which is usually some third world country contractors. So now you got the third world country contractors listening in on your children. So that's kind of creepy in and of itself, but they realize that, more and more kids are using this system. And so what we're going to do is we're going to create a new kid-friendly one. It's going to have a simpler dictionary with more simplified answers to dumb down the children even more than they're already being dumbed down. See Charles Sykes' books, Dumbing Down Our Kids, for more information. According to the announcement, the feature works by having the assistant recognize that a child is speaking and understanding that it is being asked a question. Google gives the example of a child asking what a telescope is and the child receiving a basic definition instead of a more complicated one. Of course, to use this, you have to set up your whole kid family account, and then you have to give voice prints of your child to Google, and then they're going to have the Google stuff. And by the way, they're still going to take all that information and ship it off to some third world nation, where some weirdo in some third world nation is going to be able to listen into the voice of your child, analyzing it for all the things and making sure that the product works the best it can possibly work. And so I would advise you, first and foremost, there's no reason you need to be having some voice-activated stuff for any company. It doesn't matter if it's Google or Amazon or Apple. None of them. Unless you're using the open source Minecraft system to do whatever you're doing. You do not be speaking into your devices. Every company, Apple cares about privacy, which is why they were explicitly caught shipping the stuff off to third world countries for real human beings to listen and analyze those things. Like, why ship it to people who don't actually understand the language natively? You'd figure that's a really bad quality control if you're trying to say, did their device give me the right response? Let's ship it to some guy with English as their second language and subpar education to tell us. That sounds like a wonderful quality control idea. But that's what they do. All of them do this. Microsoft was caught doing this. Google was caught doing this. Apple was caught doing this. Samsung was caught doing this. Have I missed anybody? And so, bottom line, don't sign your kids up for this. Don't use it yourself. Teach your children not to talk to electronic devices, because those electronic devices are going to come around and destroy us in the future. Well, if you'd like to help support the channel, we do have affiliates today. We are highlighting Pro Writing Aid. This is in celebration of the novel November. There's a few different names for it. The plan where authors want to write a whole book in the month of November. Well, if you need a writing assistant, I use Pro Writing Aid myself to do the final AI grammar check on my books and stuff. Not the first few, which is why you'll find a few more errors in the first few, but the last couple ones, we've started to use this, and it works really well. TLM.li/PWA for Pro Writing Aid is going to give you 20% off an annual or a lifetime subscription, and that will help support the channel as well. So Pro Writing Aid is an excellent service. It is very much like Grammarly, only Grammarly started out by having a clause in their terms of service saying, we're going to collect and analyze your data. And they dropped that since then. But Pro Writing Aid has never had that. They've never logged in and logged your data, stored it, analyzed it, and things like that. And so have a look over at them. If you are working on a novel, you can drop, and what I usually do is I just copy and paste it into the web-based interface and then fix and transfer anything over like that. Well, guys, let's head on over to security next. And first up in security, there was a GitHub flaw that could have allowed attackers to take over repositories. Like everything else, we have to have some pithy name, and this pithy name was called repo jacking. What it had to do with is if you were using a GitHub account and you changed your name, well, your name was in the URL for the account. And for a while, those would just kind of go into some suspended animation. So if some scammer recognized you changed your account and then changed their name to that name, they could hijack your account by the link being crossed over. Now, there has since been an update which is going to fix this, but this was so critical that if somebody had taken over a supply chain repository, they could have easily distributed malware nearly instantly across the world. That's how serious this was. Now, this has been fixed, but basically had to do with if somebody changed your username, the username was part of the repo, and so the scammer could take the username and steal the repository. So this has been patched, but it is definitely a fascinating trip through how bad some of these things can be if a vulnerability happens. Well, the raspberry robin worm, this actually started spreading around just about a year ago, September 2021. It was fairly benign. I can't even remember if we covered it last year or not. This is another one of these ones that ran by spreading on a USB drive. I remember fighting these things. There was one of these malware by USB drive going around the campus where I was teaching, and I think we had like 30 little micro PCs in there, and every single day at the end of lab, I'd have to go in there and just clear all the malware off of all those things. And so it was crazy because students, of course, carrying around, this is before the cloud infrastructure existed, so students were carrying around USB drives. So this is spread around by USB drive, and for a while saying, oh, this is interesting. What's this thing doing? Nobody really cared and nobody really paid any attention. Well, after it was spread around for a while and nobody really paid any attention, it updated itself to start doing crazy things. Yay! And so most computer systems in the modern world are going to be immune to this because it requires you to actively participate 2 separate times. The first is you actually need to actively open the link. The second is you actually have to actively download a file. I think you actually have to actively execute the file as well. So it could be 3 separate actions you would need to take. Of course, if you have the auto run on USB drives, which was common before, until not too recently, you'd plug in a USB drive, it would auto run, and then it would immediately download and then prompt you to install the software. That's what it was doing. So what it's doing now is it's adding some backdoors to get in and install just some basic spyware, malware, and things like that. So it does work by the macro links, which is the new way. Instead of macros being used in Office documents, now they're using link files instead to do that. So that's kind of how this guy is working. Next up, Brownville Police. This is, assume this might be happening in every city. Basically, they're saying scammers claim to be law enforcement and demand money over Zella or Cash App. I got news for you guys. If any government, whether it's a police officer, an FBI agent, an IRS agent, FTC, DHS, ABC, DEF, GHI, and LGBTQ+, no matter what, if they come to you saying they're the law, they're not going to be asking for money over Zella or Cash App or gift cards or iTunes cards or things like this. Okay, they're not going to do that. Use a little bit of common sense here. They come in, you're about to be arrested, but if you give us $10,000 on Zella right now, you'll be free. I'll go and get the gift cards. Okay, you want me to stay on the phone? Okay, and then drive to the nearest police station, hand it to the guy behind the desk. Okay, let them figure it out. So, That's kind of the thing. Just a fun little one. So what they're saying here, their advice, if you get a call from one such scammer, get the caller's name, phone number, and agency. Tell them you're going to contact the agency with the warrant, not the number they gave you. Call the agency that has the warrant and verify the person by name. Get the agency's phone number via the internet. If it was a scam, report it immediately. There you go. Yeah. So if you do somebody does say and claim to have a warrant, I don't know. If they got like a city marked police cars and they're going to handcuff you, okay, maybe. Whatever. All right. Well, our last one here is another reason to run ad blockers. So a crime group hijacks hundreds of U.S. news websites to push malware. They did this by compromising a JavaScript library that is used to spread advertisements on apparently hundreds of popular U.S. news outlets. And they did this. Now, of course, these guys, like, we've identified these, and they're not telling us which organizations they are. It leads me to believe I have to assume the worst. New York Times, Washington Post, LA Times, The Atlantic, all these crazy ones. Just assume it's them and just stop watching them for a while. I mean, I don't know. After all, we know if it were guys that were actually doing good journalism, they would tell us exactly who they are, reminding us about their links to things we can't mention on the tubies. So just assume it's probably the big players in the field. But basically, they did it by compromising a JavaScript library. The JavaScript library would go in there and they would download things. This was linked to the advertisements they were doing, and it was actually linked to the videos as well. Probably video ads is my guess, but it was not very clear. So it's called sock ghoulish malware injected in a benign JavaScript file was loaded in the news outlet's website, prompts the website visitor to download the fake software. This one did require you to download the software and then execute it, and it's targeting Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, and Edge, and Opera. I'm pretty safe except for that whole Firefox, except it's kind of like download.exe. You have no power here, Gandalf the Grey. That's that one. So just be aware. NoScript would also have blocked this. So NoScript or ad blockers would have taken care of this. uBlock Origin, Privacy Badger probably would block this. I don't know about Privacy Badger, but just yet another reason to block those. Well, if you'd like to help support the channel, we do have a subscribe star page because some people don't like the other mainstream options. Subscribestar.com/switchedtolinux. You can jump on over there. It gets you some behind the scenes access to the supporter streams and anything else I throw up there that the general population doesn't get to see. Anyway, with that, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. Alrighty, let's jump on over to our comments. Thank you, whoever killed the bot. Yes, we had somebody talking to us about something. Wow, but it was blocked in a hot second. Thank you, guys. Haiku is very hard to make now. I hate haikus. Thank you. All right, maybe switching from VirtualBox to GNOME boxes. I'm finding GNOME boxes much better. I like it. If you're going to Florida, pass through Louisiana, pay you a visit. Yes, I did southern Louisiana last year. Yeah, I will be passing through Louisiana. I'm just not exactly sure when that's going to be. Recently found a disk image format I have not seen before. Tested Spiral Linux GNOME, and the performance absolutely crushed Ubuntu. So my bucket list of laptops, future distros. Nice. TikTok needs to be banned. Yes. TikTok challenges are costing lives and property. Yeah, do you guys see the ones? A TikTok challenge was going around being promoted to 7-year-olds who actually committed suicide. I mean, that's how bad it is. And the judge said, well, Section 230. There is an exception for 230 when children start dying. Okay, TikTok needs to be banned. Especially if you look at what goes on in the algorithms. In China, TikTok pushes pro-China, pro-education, a lot of good, wholesome stuff to Chinese people. It pushes the degrading garbage of society on the rest of the world. TikTok is literally part of China's plan to take over the world. Okay, that is actually what you're doing. And you can see this by seeing what it's recommended in China versus what is recommended out of China. because they know it's weakening the world. I mean, just spend a few minutes on libs of TikTok and Lord. Germany is not Five Eyes. UK, New Zealand, Australia, Canada, USA. Thank you. Yeah, I thought Germany was in there, but I guess not. Thank you for the update on the S. The Five Eyes is UK, New Zealand, Australia, Canada, and USA. Yeah, I thought New Zealand and Australia were in there. I just couldn't remember what the last one is. Of course, Canada. Oh, Lord help us. We may as well admit China into there. Yeah. Kubuntu is using the Garuda desktop layout, while Farron OS is the traditional Plasma. Very cool. Isn't it illegal to collect child's data, such as voice print, because of COPPA? Oh, but here's the workaround, though, is that the Google Assistant, when you sign up for the family plan and put your children in there, you waive COPPA for your child. So this is why they're trying to do these. They get the parents addicted and then the kids like it, and then they put the kids on it, and then everyone's all addicted, and you have signed away your child's right to COPPA. Think about replacing a Lenovo smart clock with an automatic clock. Do those work? An atomic clock. I don't know all the details about the atomic clocks. I've had friends that have them and absolutely love them. But that's, I know nothing more about them. Only without parental consent, from my understanding of the law. Voice can be overheard nearby as well. You type as you eliminate 50% of security risks. The other half can still be intercepted. Yes, true. Gets me now as I get emails from Microsoft asking me to come back to Windows crap. Yeah. Google Translate, need to be 18 plus to make a kids account. For my writing, I use Language Tool via Code. Yes, Language Tool I have Language Tool installed on my LibreOffice install, and then you will be surprised what Pro Writing Aid picks up the Language Tool doesn't. Although I have not had a paid option of the Language Tool. Zella should be banned. Yeah, I agree. LOL, I get scam crap text phone calls. Keep them on the phone for hours. Yep, there you go. Yeah, get them to the point where they're going to collect a credit card number. What's your number? 1, 2, 3. I had a scammer up to 7 before he hung up on me once. Almost all the places I've had on these sites won't even let you read the news article unless you allow ads. Yeah, I know, right? Malware that's designed for Windows. Yet another reason to run Linux. Yep, indeed. You're welcome. Kill the bots. Thank you, Moonbase. I knew it was a good idea giving that space alien a hammer wrench. All right, let's see. Trying to sign up on locals, but payment seems to be time. Really? Apparently there's a few issues on it. I'm going to ask them. VPN provider won't be able to see your HTTPS. They can see the same meta traffic. See, your ISP can't see your traffic on HTTPS either, but they can see the metadata. The VPN provider can't see what the traffic on HTTPS, but they can see the metadata. All you're doing is passing the information from the ISP down to the VPN. And I don't see a reason to make that trade-off. Never understood the voice to text feature. Wouldn't it be simple to make a phone call? Yes. I don't understand why Google won't just be honest and tell everyone, yes, we collect data on you and sell it to whoever we care. Yeah. Love finishing my book for Nano World. Unfortunately, every time I've tried, I end up scrapping everything halfway through. No, just keep going. Just keep going, man. Let the cedar out and just let the story go where it goes. And you might end up with something in and go, I didn't see myself going there. Law enforcement calling with an Indian accent is, this is a boo at the local law enforcement office. You have a warrant on you. You need to pay us right now or we're going to come and arrest you. Great, Abu. Now, here's the problem. And this is going back 5 years now. Scammers would do that. And then if you didn't pay them, they would SWAT you. So police would actually show up. So you got to be careful with that even, because everyone's allowing all our data online. What we need to do is do a global ban of data sharing. That's it. Global ban of data sharing. You're caught with someone else's data in any way, shape, or form that they didn't explicitly give you. You're done. Every asset is stripped. You sit in a gulag for all eternity. You're done. You're just done. You are banished from society. There you go. My new TikTok challenge idea. Challenge him to remove TikTok. Never go back. There you go. TikTok challenge idea. Delete. Amen to that. 17 over on Rumble, although nobody is talking over there. You Rumble guys are a quiet group. Over on Twitch, greetings. First live event, by the way, my host file is almost 14 megabyte. Nice. I like it. All right. We got Beavis and Butthead over there banging out on D-Live. Nobody's over here. Charles Dejol came over, dropped Beavis and Butthead head banging over there, and then D-Live is a weird place. I don't understand it. I must be a boomer. I just don't get it. I don't get it. You guys have seen the movie Big. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. We got 22 watching on Odyssey. We have 15 watching on YouTube. We have 19 watching on... Dude, Rumble and Odyssey are both beating YouTube. That's what happens when YouTube's like suspends your channel. It's like people forget about you. It's just like... Or you guys all just realized how crappy it was and went on over to the other platform anyway. So, absolutely. Let's head on over to Corporateocracy. What's my affiliate? There it is. Welcome back to the Weekly News Roundup. These are recorded live Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is the business and the SillyVille editions. You can find out where we are streaming every week at switchedtolinux.com/live in the event we get banned or banished off of some channel somewhere around the line. All right, let's go ahead and move on in. This one was a very high candidate for SillyVille, but... business, whatever else. Well, Photoshop, of course, comes with a color palette, so you can pick your color palette. Of course, Photoshop is now a full software as a service model, so you have to pay for it monthly on a subscription, and they're pulling the color palette out. So if you want to continue using the Pantone color palette, you're going to have to pay an extra $15 a month, which I think is more than Photoshop. What is this? You're stuck to the 16-bit color palette unless you pay us $15 a month for a photo editing software. Yep. And to be clear, I mean, there is still some colors. I mean, you might be stuck with 256 colors in Photoshop. I don't know. I just use GIMP. The colors are free. They don't charge me monthly for the program or the color palette. Just saying. And I'm sure this might just be a separate color palette or something. I don't know. I don't use Photoshop anymore. I'm sorry, guys. You guys are, if you guys are like, you gotta use Photoshop, it's so much better. All right, keep using Photoshop. I don't care. I've been doing my book covers, my professional book covers, all my channel art, everything for 5 years on GIMP. I'm not going back to Photoshop. I booted up, I think I booted up Photoshop the other day because I had a Windows computer on because of something else I was doing. I'm like, I forget how to use this. Oh, well. If you want to use up-to-date versions of Adobe Creative Cloud apps, you've been paying subscription fees for years now. Great. If you want to use the Pantone colors inside of Adobe apps, it's about to get more expensive. Starting this month, the Pantone color books in Adobe's apps are going away, and continuing to use those colors in your files will require a new Pantone Connections extension. Using the extension is free once you've created an account, but using the full library of colors, creating unlimited color palettes, and a dozen or more tools, creating smarter, more impactful palettes, whatever that means, will now require a subscription fee that will charge you $15. Are people actually paying $15 a month for a color palette that has it's more impactful palettes? Can you explain to me what a more impactful palette is? I mean, really. All of a sudden, I'm understanding what these elites are saying when it's going to be 2030. You will own nothing and you will be happy because you will be putting all of your money into Photoshop and color palettes. Congratulations. Subscribe yourself to bankruptcy all you want. I'll be over here using GIMP. It's free. On top of what you're already paying to use Adobe's apps in the first place, I could browse through the colors using the basic version of the extension, but trying to browse and select most colors from the library prompted me to pay for a subscription. I should have put this in SillyVille. This is how we're starting business, guys. This is gonna go weird. Yeah. Strange as it might seem for a company to own their color. Like, how do you even own? I'm trying to think about this. How do you own colors? Hexadecimal are colors. The hexadecimal code gives you a global map to a color palette based on the amount of red and green and blue inside of a given palette. I don't even know what the hell you're buying. Can somebody please explain it to me like I'm a 3-year-old? I'm telling you. Maybe I'm just out of loop. This is why I use GIMP, because I'm so stupid I don't understand how color palettes work. I'll keep being stupid. You keep giving a company $15 a month for colors for the rest of your life. You enjoy. Authors are up in arms as Amazon scammers pirate published book covers for notebooks. So the idea is you're putting a book up on Amazon, you're selling the book. It's awesome. Like we have Synaptergy. I have several other books up there as well. And, you get up there and they have the books there. And then scammers are pulling the book covers, which is piracy, slapping that book cover on a journal, just a blank group of pages, and then selling that under your book title, under a scammy name. And Amazon's allowing this. And so Amazon has its fair share of problems with scammers. Most of us have probably come across these suspicious looking knockoffs or products at prices too low, too good to be true. Don't get us started on the micro SD card scam, blah, blah, blah. Authors have reported that covers and artworks of their books have been pirated, used for covers for notebooks, and then are passed off as the original book, complete with the author's name, but with content replaced by blank pages. We were alerted to the scam when we came across a thread on Twitter started by author Rob Manuel, detailing his recent experience. Manuel spotted a clone of his book, The Very Best Fesshole. Brian confesses anonymously, turning around 24 hours. It was published on Amazon. The cloned book was listed as a cheaper price than Manuel's, going by an author going by the name of Ratchet Zikra. What an odd thing. My book was published yesterday and has already been cloned on Amazon. So, of course, he ordered it. Why not? Can't wait to read his version of it. It's just a blank page. He gets a hold of Amazon, and basically there's like, what was it at? Okay. So another writer replied to his Twitter thread saying the same thing had happened to him, and added that when he reached Amazon UK for help, he was given no assistance because he was only the author and not VAT registered. The verified Amazon account at Amazon Help then replied to the thread, included a link to the page where the authors could report any infringement, but that was the extent of Amazon's response. And I completely understand. My book, Synaptergy, it sells almost no copies because I'm not allowed to advertise on Amazon. Every time I try and run ads on that book, Synaptergy, Amazon comes back and says, you can't have an ad that promotes human suffering. There is no human suffering on the book cover of Synaptergy, okay? I wish I could show you. I guess it's kind of up there. Okay, that's the book cover for Synaptergy. It's a dude sitting on a bench. It's not human suffering. Okay? Really. I am not allowed to run ads on my book on Amazon because they say it's human suffering. Explain why it's human suffering. It's human suffering. It's like trying to deal with the YouTube creators Twitter account. Yeah, it violates the YouTube guidelines. Where does it violate guidelines? Here's a link to YouTube guidelines. It's like, show me where. Particularly when you send your email, we want you to learn from your experience. Yeah, I would like to learn too. Tell me why my video violates your guidelines, because it doesn't, and they don't care. They just want to ding channels. That's their thing. But, that's what's going on Amazon. And so be careful if you order something on Amazon. Make sure it's from the right author or the right publisher or whatever else. All right. LinkedIn introduces some new security features to combat fake accounts. This is a fun one. So they know it has a problem with bots and fake accounts, as acknowledged this on more than one thing. So they're just eager to push out these new things. These are kind of frightening. Now I initially I was looking at creating a LinkedIn account for my LLC. Just to be a more professional in the sphere, but literally to do a LinkedIn account and to create a business page, I'd have to create a profile page and find 15 people in my organization and interact with them. I'm like, would you like me to get addicted to some other hard drug as well? I mean, no. I just want to have a presence on the platform. But no, you literally have to go in and play the addicted to social media game on LinkedIn to do anything, which is why LinkedIn is a bunch of nonsense. So The About This Profile feature is a new thing. So this section will contain information about when the profile was first created, when it was last updated, and indicators of whether it is associated with a verified phone number or work email address. This feature has already been rolled out. So basically, if it's a new profile, it's probably a bot. So how do I create a new profile? If I'm a brand new human being entering the workforce, how do I do that? Oh, well, you just have to verify your phone number and your work email address. Great. Sounds like Microsoft's just trying to collect a whole lot more data that they have no business having. Hence going back to previous sections where we were talking about, collecting too much data and it's all available and the scammers can use it for bad ways. The next one is tech to analyze profile pictures. Make sure you're not using some AI generated profile picture. That's exciting. So, you get that going for you. Make sure it's not a deep fake, things like that. The company Upwork apparently does this. I was going to create an account over there until they were like, you need to upload your driver's license. And they don't make you do that until you are awarded a job and are actually working on it. So it gets to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm going to send my bill out. I'm done with the project. Send the bill out. They're like, you need to upload your driver's license. I said, screw you. And you know what? Me and the client took it off their platform and she paid me directly for work well done. I'm not giving Upwork my driver's license. You can piss off with that. You have no business with that. There's no useful information over there. Oh, we need to know our customer. You know what? You know my bank and my bank knows me. Done. Okay, done. But when I created that account over there, they're like, you need a profile picture. So I literally uploaded an AI profile picture and they rejected it. Apparently this is old tech, I don't know. Anyway, they have tech rolling out. Make sure you're not doing that. Flags that alert users of suspicious behavior. Okay. So I guess suspicious behavior is passing on any information that might actually be factually true or something. And of course, they're just, going through, we're going to make LinkedIn a safe, amazing place. No, you're not. Good luck, though. And finally, Google wants to let robots write their own code. No. Okay, Microsoft created a chatbot, released it on Twitter, and in 3 days, they had to take it down because the thing was the spawn of Hitler. Okay? I've never actually met a white supremacist in my life, but Microsoft created one in 3 days. All right? Have you not seen any of these post-apocalyptic movies? It doesn't end well. Remember, Skynet goes online, it becomes self-aware and writes its own code. iRobot, Vicky, figures out how to write its own code. These do not end well. When we let robots write their own code, things do not end well. They say here in Tech Radar, the apocalypse isn't here yet. It will be once the robots start writing their own code. Google released new open source benchmark says it will allow robots to perform tasks by writing their own code in response to human written instructions. Yikes. Companies launched a new website to reveal code as policies. Yikes. Whereby prompts written in plain English can be interpreted into language model generated programs written in Python code. That's exciting. So, with this, of course, whenever the robots start doing this, they're going to start figuring out interesting little odd things. These are those little things in iRobot, those little elements. I forget what they call them in that movie, but the little peculiarities. You put a bunch of robots in a closed crate, and they would associate together instead of spreading apart equally. They would come to dream. They would come to see, and then eventually the end result is they wanted to enslave the human race to keep us safe. Because the only way to keep us safe is to, violate the perfect implementation of the 3 laws demands that robots enslave the human race. That was the point of iRobot. This is going to happen. Of course, Skynet just wiped them out. Matrix decided to use them like batteries and leeches and survive itself on the flesh of the humans. So pick your post-apocalyptic world. They all start with robots writing their own code, okay? Do you really think some glorious thing's going to happen? No, you're thinking of heaven, sir, but you've rejected Jesus long ago. Well, if you'd like to help support the channel, we do have affiliates. Today we are highlighting A2 Hosting. A2 Hosting is where I've hosted several websites in the past. I've gotten too big for it now, so I've moved on to bigger pastures, but they are still a great service. Starting at $2.99 for single plans. Managed VPS is up to $40. Dedicated servers up to $105 a month, which is pretty good. Lots of other things over there. TLM.li/A2H is going to get you on over there. And with that, guys, let's head to SillyVille. Yeah, let's get set up. All right, so first, this was a fun one in art. There's been this modern art, and this is why, and I just can't get much in art. There's this modern art. It's been hanging in New York City upside down for 75 years and nobody knew it. You see, when you hang like the Mona Lisa upside down, or, you know, some other art that you can kind of tell what it is, think of the movie, Scream, who did that one, I forget. You know it's upside. I mean, the people are hanging from the ceilings. You got all sorts of weird stuff, you know, frowning, smiling, whatever else. You kind of know. When you get modern art, you have no earthly idea. But on a guy doing a write-up of this particular piece, just for something, starts digging into the history and finds that this is supposed to be the correct orientation of this piece of modern art based on seeing pictures of it as the artist was working on it. This is how it's currently hanging, literally upside down. The problem is they can't just spin this thing around because gravity is starting to do the work, and if they spin around, the art's going to break. Correct? Incorrect. Correct. Incorrect. I'm going to call this postmodern art, okay? Because modernism was the philosophy of achieving an ultimate end. Postmodernism says there is no truth. Well, there is no truth in this thing. It's a bunch of squiggly lines, okay? I'm sorry, I'm not an art enthusiast. You can yell at me if you are. But it's just the primary colors and thing. But it was supposed to be like this because it's buildings and the sky. This is supposed to be the skyline of New York. I don't see it, but I don't know. Well, a massive silver orb breaks free to terrorize the streets of London. This didn't terrorize the streets of London, okay? I mean, look at this thing. Okay, it is slightly terrifying. See, it didn't do a lot of damage. I mean, it hit that pole, it bounced off of it. Oh, here comes another one. See, it's not, I mean, it's fairly soft. I mean, sure, I wouldn't want to get hit by it, but look at this. This is, I mean, it's just a ball rolling on down the road. That's, I mean, people can dodge it. I mean, it just bounced off the thing. It didn't apparently cause any property damage over there. I don't know. But there was actually an event like this in a city I used to live in. And in 2007, my mother told me about it. So I went ahead and found the YouTube video for this. This is when a wrecking ball fell off of a demolition crane on a hill.
Tonight now takes us to Meadville, Crawford County, where a 1.5-ton wrecking ball on the loose tore downtown apart. The rolling wrecker sideswiped this car, then tore off downhill on a barreling path through downtown Meadville, bouncing from curb to curb until boom! Talk about rear-end damage.
Okay, that is terrifying, okay? This thing bounced off of 12 cars. It basically played ping pong down. If you're familiar with Meadville, this was on Allegheny campus, which sits on a hill outside of Meadville. The wrecking ball falls off and starts rolling down the hill, bouncing off of cars like a giant game of pinball. I think like 12 people were injured. I think there's 12 cars were hit. I think 3 people were injured by this thing. It was kind of crazy. Just to kind of see. But you know, there's the crane. Of course, the police are like, dude, this is trippy, yo.
Crane's cable. Officer Brian Joseph was first on the scene.
I just never fathomed seeing a wrecking ball in the back of a car. And then I had people screaming that it was rolling. It rolled the whole way down North Main Street, and there was cars everywhere.
As crews tugged the thing out of the trunk, cops assessed the damage. A dozen cars hit, 3 people hurt and sent to the hospital.
I mean, 3 injuries and a dozen cars hit as the thing goes spiraling down the hill. That would happen in 2007. But that little ball and in London reminded me of that. That little ball in London, that thing just bounced off of a light post. So what? It's a fun story. Looks kind of cool. When it's a wrecking ball rolling down a hill, you got problems. All right. And finally, Loaf Saber, California baker crafts a life-size Han Solo out of bread. Yep. There it is. Basically, she said she got COVID. She couldn't work, had to find something to distract her time with, plays around with the bread, and all of a sudden Han Solo shows up. There's some of this that's a little creepy, though. Let's see. I think it was down here at the bottom. Hallie said she might have gotten a bit obsessed. Quote, "My mom made me leave it because I was obsessing over the lips." End quote. Yikes. She told him, she was like, "You need to walk away." Creating Pan Solo was particularly meaningful, she told the paper, because she contracted the Koofies in January 2021 and lost a lot of her sense of smell and taste just to find joy in a different part of food that is really important. As fascinating as this is, I cannot wait for the lawsuit that Disney... So right now... Pan Solo is still on display at that bakery just north of San Francisco. All right. For display, big public articles, all this kind of stuff. Disney owns this. They're going to sue you. You know that, right? They're going to be like, "This is a violation of our license. We own this." Disney is such a corrupt company. They did not even let an 8-year-old boy who died of cancer and loved Spider-Man, they would not let the parents put Spider-Man on his gravestone because, no, that would violate our copyright license. Really? So, bakers, enjoy Pan Solo while you can. Disney lawyers are coming for you. They're probably writing up the documents as we speak because they are probably the most corrupt company in the media world today. Well, we've been highlighting all of these crazy things that are coming from the mishmash of car companies and computer companies. So Porsche has a new Dolby Atmos soundbar made from a tailpipe of a Porsche. So if you would happen to like your Porsche exhaust fumes blaring out your music, you can go ahead and pick this up. This literally just looks like a speaker with a muffler attached to it. It doesn't look creative at all. Like, not at all. It looks really stupid. And people are probably paying thousands of dollars. Oh, no, they're paying $12,000 for this. If you're paying $12,000 from this, you need to reassess your life. Okay? Just telling you right now. And on to our final story here. Microsoft mulls over making cheaper PCs supported by ads. And every article I found on this is like, this is great. Everyone's going to love this. People are excited about this. They keep on spinning this up as if this is literally them waiting for us to just adopt ads into everything. This is part of it. World where global sales of PCs are declining and more work is shifting to the cloud. What can a maker of this world's ubiquitous operating system do to keep money coming in? For Microsoft, part of the answer might lie in low-cost, cloud-connected systems paid through by subscriptions and ads. Great. So now your Windows has ads and subscriptions just to make it cheap. No, thank you. If you want to pay a subscription, you put your computer on a credit card. At least the subscription will pay itself out eventually. Of course, I wouldn't recommend that either. But we know a lot of the Register readers might be very excited and want to be the first to grab a cheap Windows machine. If you think that's what your users want, you've seriously misjudged your readers. Or your readers are just really, really stupid. Can anybody be like, yeah, I want to pay less for an ad-supported Windows computer. I'm going to get on, and it's just going to show me ads all day, and it's awesome because the computer only cost me like $10. Oh, it's still going to cost a couple $100. It's like the Amazon, the one Kindle that I have. If I ever attach my Kindle to the internet, it's immediately going to show me ads all over the place. It still cost me $80, but it's so low cost, $80 low cost, just because it's ad supported. Mine's not ad supported. I use Calibri, thank you. No ads on my Kindle. We know, let's see, a number of job postings, including this now closed ad from late September. Principal software design manager looking for engineers and others to be part of a newly formed Windows incubation team whose mission is to build a new direction for Windows in a cloud-first world. So basically moving your Windows into cloud infrastructure only. That's exciting. Well, I don't know about you. I see that and say, no, thank you. Well, if you'd like to help support the channel, we have a locals page just created. Locals, it's switchedtolinux.locals.com. Of course, this is one of the alternatives that is coming out. You guys following on Rumble, there is a join button at the top of Rumble. That'll take you right to the locals page. The rest of you use switchedtolinux.locals.com. If you want to jump on, there is a free tier and there is a paid tier as well. So you can jump on and see all of those. All right. Before we get into the final comments, guys, we have a special banned news section, which is not going to go on YouTube. So we're going to end the YouTube stream when we're done with our comments, and then we're going to do banned. So you can jump on over to Rumble or Odyssey or Twitch or DLive to watch the banned news section. As of right now, we have 16 on YouTube. We have 26 on Odyssey. We have 21 on Rumble. We have 1 over there on Twitch, and we have 0 watching the Lost Stepchild. Rumble wants me to give them my phone number to use chat. Yeah, I can't remember if they needed it for chat or just creating a channel. I can't remember. Yep. Looking at Rumble comments reminds me of the Gator. Let's see. Oh, it looks like it cleared out the comments. All right. Google, you have our permission to be evil. There you go. Hyperion is another good sci-fi book about self-learning AI. I've not seen that one. That sounds cool. Maybe some dumb movie publicity stunt that got out of control. There you go. Yeah. Oh boy. Let's see. Looks like we lost some of our did we? Let's see. Okay, I think we're good here. No. I lost my place over on Odyssey. My apologies. All right, London Pinball. There you go. Yep. Let robots write their own code. Yep. Cue Terminator theme song, which if I remembered what it was, I'd hum it, but you know. Wait till they let AI write new genetic code. There you go. The Jetsons use Rosie robot to build a maid with a feature duster. Nice. The second ball moved the car it hit. Oh, did it? London Pinball. Somebody lost his marbles. That's right. Wrecking ball in the trunk pocket. Crusty Lips is no attractive. Do I have crusty lips? I don't know. Oh, Pan Solo had crusty lips. That's right. I'm not saying that, Jim. All right. You know what else is cheap? No ads and subscriptions. I know, right? Offers way more features, modern systems. Yeah, used PCs. I'm telling you, buy used PCs. You can keep them alive with Linux. All sorts of fun stuff. So absolutely. Ads will be useless when no one has any extra money. Yep. But the ads make the content free, and as much companies gives me ads, they can consume me. I know, right? Malware known as Windows now with ads. Locals is not letting me pay to subscribe you. Really? Reach out to the help team over there. I think they're still working out some bugs. I don't know. There's been some other issues over there apparently. So, well, I'm going to be talking to a locals person sometime soon. So, hopefully, we can figure out what's going on with that. One way I come up with a story idea is just to go through different TV trope pages. There you go. Yep. I want to test Fedora 37 on GNOME 43, but still in beta. Amazon scammer keeps calling about an iPhone order. Glad I canceled most of my cards. Yep. Pantone, isn't that tequila? I have no idea. Photoshop now a subscription product. What's next? Windows 12? Yes. with ads. Subscriptions and ads. Don't forget, subscriptions and ads. Like Netflix. You can now pay Netflix. The new Netflix paid subscription with ads is already out. So you can pay money for pedo content and get ads at the same time. It's awesome. LTT made videos about how their business is reliant on Pantone for the color codes when they get products made like fabrics. Oh, yikes. All right. These fixes for charging everything is run Linux. Yep. I don't use editing software. Don't use GIMP. Have Windows. I don't use editing software, but doesn't GIMP have a Windows version? Yes, it does. How do you own a common word? The. Yeah. The is owned in by the Buckeyes. Yes. Before I retired, I was a printer, and those Pantone color mixing books were around 1000 NZ when they first came out. Okay. Tell users of Winlows about it so they can get away from that crap. Linus Tech Tips says more like $2,000 now. Yep. Color chips are expensive as well. Someone needs to make a cheat sheet for the Pantone to RGB values. Yep. Check Amazon itself is human suffering. Yes, Amazon is human suffering. LinkedIn is owned by Microsoft. Yes, it is. That's actually one. I used to have a LinkedIn account and I deleted it as soon as that press release came out. Okay. Need a new keyboard for the desktop. Old gaming keyboard is starting to act up. Not mechanical, but I have a pair of Pyrrhix split ego. See, they can write code with less bugs than the human. Well, there goes the 3 laws. Vicky threw that out the window. That's right. Well, at least she didn't load it into the Windows. Head to SillyVille? Thought we were already there. I know, right? Bunch of random perpendicular lines. Yes. Spin the people upside down. That'll fix the issue. Hung wallpaper upside down. Yeah. Not a fan of a lot of modern art either. Painting looks like nothing. Painting looks like non-loading Google Maps. Indeed. Result of a bad storm. If it was yellow, that London ball looks like Pac-Man in the movie Pixels. Human bowling pins. Too early? I don't know. Just don't sing any MC Hammer. That is too early. Disney likes cease and desist letters almost as much as Nintendo. That would be a fun challenge, right? Create some video with Nintendo and Disney content and then place bets onto who sends you cease and desist first. All right. Trying to write haiku for you. Some things I just can't do. Ozzy started testing out annoying ads using Library Desktop for everything but live streams. Locals payment finally went through. Library Desktop, if I compile it on some of the computer's infrastructure, still gives instruction errors sometimes. Yeah, I just catch it on the website when I want to watch something over there. All right, guys, you can head on over to switchedtolinux.com/live if you don't know where to catch the other ones. It's Odyssey, Rumble, Twitch, DLive, any one of those at Switch to Linux. We're going to stop the YouTube stream at this point in time, and we will do band news, and we will do kitty treats over there.